What are we looking at on, if I'm going to play this on a Series X, or even if you want to mention Series S as well, like what's the experience going to be, technically speaking?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I think it'll come as no surprise, given our previous games. What we go for are always these huge open worlds, fully dynamic, hyper detail where anything can happen. And we do want to do that. It's 4K on the X, it's 1440 on the S. We do lock it at 30 because we want that fidelity. We want all that stuff. We don't want to sacrifice any of it. Fortunately, in this one, we've got it running great. It's often running way above that. Sometimes it's 60. But on the consoles, we do lock it because we prefer the consistency.
Yeah.
Right? You're not even thinking about it.
I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. It really doesn't matter to me, but I just think it's hilarious how the most anticipated game on Xbox is a game that's running at 30 frames per second. Now, I already know what you're saying. Oh, it's a big game. It's powered by the cloud, Microsoft Azure, blah, 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 all this other stuff. That still doesn't change the point that this game is a 2023 title running at 30 frames per second. Now, what does that remind you of? It's a little game. It rhymes with Redfall. Oh, yeah, that game. Yeah, the game that flopped and also was locked at 30 frames per second on Xbox. Yeah, that's what that's looking like. But hey, I could be wrong. Maybe Starfield is going to be the greatest game of this generation. Unlikely, but possible. Don't you find it a bit odd that they're not even giving you the choice of a performance mode? At least 1440p 60, hell, even 1080 60 frames per second would have been better, but 30 frames all across the board on the world's most powerful console? Oh, no. We can't have that. The world's most powerful console can't run Starfield at 1440p 60 frames per second, 1080 60 frames per second? That doesn't sound right to me. And the reason why I'm so hard on this game is because I'm getting a strong sense of deja vu. We already saw stuff like this before from a little game called Crackdown 3. You remember that? Oh, a destructive environment powered by the cloud, etc., this and that. Then when the game dropped, what happened? It was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The destruction was completely downgraded. It was nothing from what they showed at the original test demo. It was everything from the graphics to the gameplay to the destruction was completely watered down. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Starfield. This is just the beginning, folks. Like 30 frames per second, we all knew this was happening. I mean, come on, bro. It's Bethesda. When was the last Bethesda game that you knew that launched at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second that wasn't Doom or Wolfenstein? So I already knew this is going to be locked at 30 frames per second, but as far as the quality of the game and all the 12 million planets or whatever the hell they said, yeah, we'll see. We shall see when the game actually drops. I refuse to sip the Todd Howard's Kool-Aid because it's completely spiked with broken promises and lies.